Okay, so we're gonna start actually standing today. So you can make your way to your 2 feet and set yourself up with your feet spread about hips width distance apart. And maybe just take a nice deep cleansing breath in and out to kind of land in this spot that you're standing in. And start to shift your weight along your feet. We did this last week. We're going to kind of work our way up from our feet all the way up our bodies to set ourselves up in our mountain pose. So we'll take our time with this, and you can start by shifting your weight along your feet, bringing your awareness to your feet, to the bottoms of your feet. So as you shift your weight onto your toes, your heels will lift up. And then as you shift your weight onto your heels, your toes and the balls of your feet will lift up. So kind of fluctuate between those extremes. And perhaps closing your eyes and starting to tune in and really listen to what's going on for you right now as you simply shift your weight forward on your toes, back on your heels several times. And you'll start to let that forward and back rocking slow down. And find a supportive position where your weight is balanced, not too far towards your toes and not too far back towards your heels, but somewhere in the middle. You might want to lift all your toes up and then slowly plant them down, starting at your pinky toes. And then moving all the way to your big toes. Your feet are firmly planted down. Then we'll draw our awareness up our ankles and all the way to our knees. And start to take some gentle bend in the knees, bending and then straightening. Just as we did with the feet, playing around with how it feels to come into a deep bend, and then how it feels to fully straighten your legs. So again, we are listening to what's going on, to our entire being as we bend and straighten. Very simple. And after a few more times, you can slow down your bends and find something kind of in between the deep bend and the fully straight legs. So you'll find just a tiny bit of a comfortable bend in the knees. So our feet are rooted down, our knees are slightly bent, and then we're gonna draw our awareness from our knees all the way up the thighs and into the hips. So we're gonna bring our hands to our hips. And we're gonna notice the way that we can tilt our pelvis forward, and then how we can tilt our pelvis back. So you're gonna do this several times, all the while keeping a slight bend in the knees, keeping the feet firmly rooted down. And we're simply tilting the pelvis forward as if you have a bowl of water in there that's spilling each time you tilt forward, and then spilling again each time you tilt back. And then slowly slowing that down, finding a position of the hips and the pelvis where that kind of water bowl, if you were imagining that, is level. So we'll release our hands from our hips, let your arms rest down by your sides. And then as you draw your attention up your spine, you'll start to imagine lengthening your spine upward. Take a breath in to envision that lengthening upward. And then as you breathe out, see if you can relax your arms and your shoulders. We'll do a couple more like that. Inhale, feel the spine and the neck and the crown of the head even lengthening upward. And then exhale, relax the shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingertips. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, settle the shoulders. Now take 3 breaths on your own, this time visualizing all the way from the feet, through the knees, through the hips, through the shoulders, crown of the head, on your inhale. And then on your exhale, feeling yourself settling from the crown of the head, down the shoulders, spine, hips, knees, and out the bottom of the feet. Continue like this on your own, inhaling to imagine an upward lengthening energy, and an exhale, a downward rooting, supportive energy. And let's take one more breath together, breathing in through the nose. And then this time, open your mouth to exhale. If your eyes are closed, you can gently open them. And we're going to inhale to sweep the arms up, bringing a little bit of movement into the arms and just the arms. And then exhale, just release them back down by your sides. I'm going to continue moving the arms, but this time we're going to kind of start to sway side to side. So feel a certain heaviness in the arms as you start to rotate them, like you're drawing a circle with your fingertips around your feet. And this motion might start small, and then you might start to make it bigger, a little more dramatic and spacious. And then eventually your arms might be so relaxed and spreading out that they're just kind of flopping around your body. And each time you kind of twist to one side, see if you can look towards the back wall or the back of your room. And if you get dizzy, you can just keep staring straight ahead. So as we do this, we're bringing some energy into our arms, into our torso. We're keeping our knees slightly bent and our feet rooted down and our hips relatively square. But we're rotating in the upper body. We're rotating our head and neck. Might be feeling a little bit of vibration in the arms. We'll do a few more like this. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, slow it down. Relax the arms by your side. Let them naturally come to stillness. So Instead of just stopping, just kind of let that movement be slower and slower. Not forcing ourselves to suddenly stop, but just kind of naturally unwinding and landing back in our mountain pose. And next we're gonna do a breathing exercise where you can watch me first if you want to, but we're gonna inhale our arms up overhead. And then when we exhale, we're gonna kind of flop everything down, and we're gonna exhale through our mouth in kind of a sharp, like a sharp exhale. So you kind of like make an O shape with the lips and blow it out. So it'll look something like this. Now your arms might dangle. And then we'll inhale, reach up. Exhale. Inhale, you can join me whenever you're ready. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale, release. Inhale up. Feel like a wave as you exhale down. Continue this on your own, inhaling to rise all the way up, and then exhaling to kind of throw everything down and surrender to that wave. Take a few more. On your next one, you'll land in a forward fold. So on your exhale, you'll stay there. You'll let the arms dangle. And just as we did with our arms when we were standing, rather than forcing them to stop moving, just let them dangle until they naturally come to stillness. Let's inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Deepen into your fold. Start to bend your right knee and bend your left knee. And we're gonna find a little bit of a twist open towards the right. So your right arm will rise up. And take a deep inhale, find that spiraling of the chest. Exhale, draw that right arm down, start to bend that right knee. And extend the left arm up, spiral open towards the left. Deep inhale. Exhale, release left arm down. Find that one more time on your own, each side. And then after you've completed that, you can start to deeply bend your knees and plant your palms. So you'll come all the way down through a squat and then eventually finding a child's pose. So however you'd like to get there. You'll start to widen out the knees, bring the toes to touch, drop your seat towards your heels, and then walk your arms forward. Release your chest and your forehead down. And as you rest here in your child's pose, start to listen to your body, listen to what's going on for you. Listen to what's happening in your mind. Listen to the physical sensations pulsing through. Listen to your breath. And then let's take one breath together in child's pose, starting with a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Feel your body melt a little bit more. And then staying low to the ground, we're gonna kind of slither forward into a baby cobra. So you're gonna need to come up a little bit, but try to stay low and root down through your hands. You can keep your elbows down too if you want. And we'll kind of slither the legs back and keep the chest and head lifted. Bring the palms underneath your shoulders and keep just a tiny bit of weight in your palms, not very much. You're using your back, your spine to help rise your chest up a tiny bit more, elbows hugged in towards each other. Inhale, rise the chest. Exhale, settle the hips, settle the spine. One more inhale. And then exhale back to child's pose. Stay in child's pose for a full round of breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, slither forward to baby cobra again. Inhale, exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, child's pose. We'll move through this one more time. Full round of breath in child's pose. Inhale. Exhale, settle. Inhale, baby cobra brings you forward. And exhale, settle your body in baby cobra. One more inhale. Exhale this time, make a pillow for your head with your hands. So you'll stack one hand on top of the other and bring your forehead down to rest on your hands. Feel your shoulder blades spread apart and kind of melt away, widening the back. Release any tension you're holding in your glutes. We'll stay here for about a minute in silence. And you can take this opportunity to, again, listen, hear your breath, hear the thoughts running through your head, hear the physical sensations and things running through your body. Let's take a breath together, feeling the belly expand and push up against the floor. Inhale. And exhale, feel everything contract and melt down. I'm gonna bend the knees and just gently rock the legs side to side. So you're kind of windshield wipering the legs, nice and slow. And then as you bring the legs back down to meet the mat, we're gonna find a Sphinx pose. So you're gonna bring your elbows to the mat. Your elbows are underneath your shoulders this time, so your palms are in front of your elbows, all 10 fingers spread wide. And feel your forearms rooted down and kind of pulling towards the rest of your body as your heart gently pulls forward. And take a moment to rotate the neck, gaze over your left shoulder, and then back to center, gaze over your right shoulder, back to center, turn your gaze up, open the throat, back to center, and then turn your gaze down, tucking the chin, and back to center. We're going to start to rise up through tabletop, so you can plant the palms, come up on hands and knees. And then we'll make our way all the way back to downward dog, but if you want to take a moment in tabletop to kind of reset and transition, you can. And if you're ready to find a downward dog, you can tuck the toes and shift the hips up and back. Rooting down through the palms, spreading wide through the shoulders. We'll rise the hips up and draw the heels gently down. Inhale, let's shift forward to a plank pose. You can lower the knees if you need to. Exhale back to a downward dog. Inhale, find a plank pose, shoulders over your wrists. And exhale, downward dog. Inhale the right leg up towards the ceiling, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring that right leg through between the palms. Drop the left knee down, untuck the left toes. We're going to find a simple twist here, so you'll plant the left hand and rise the right arm up. One more inhale, spiral the chest open, feel yourself peeling open towards the right. Exhale, right hand comes down. Take a moment to just straighten that right leg a little bit. It does not have to be all the way straight. And then rebend the right knee. Plant the palms, we'll meet back in a downward dog. Again, you can transition through tabletop if you need to take a cat-cow. And then finding your way with your hips up, heels drawn down, downward dog. We'll inhale our left leg up for three-legged dog. And then our exhale, we'll draw our left foot in between our palms. Drop your right knee, untuck your right toes. Plant your right hand on the inside of your left foot And draw your left arm up towards the ceiling, spiral yourself open towards the left. One more breath in, feel those fingertips rising, peel your upper body towards the left. Exhale, left hand comes down. Take a moment to straighten, gentle straighten through that left leg. Toes can come up too. And then re-bend the left knee, plant the palms. And this time we will all come to tabletop instead of down dog. And we'll move through a few cat-cows on your own. Taking another opportunity to rest in some silence in order to listen to whatever is happening internally. And then let's find a neutral spine. And bring your attention to your head and neck. And first we'll kind of move through a few rotations of the head looking in different directions as we did in Sphinx pose. So let's gaze over our left shoulder for a moment. And then bring the head back to center. And gaze towards the right. Head back to center. Gaze up, open the throat as much as you can. Back to center. And then relax the head down. Feel the head become heavy as the chin draws towards the chest. Relax the jaw here too. And then back to center. And let's find a few circles of the head in one direction, nice and slow. And then a few circles of the head in the other direction. Start to slow that down until your head naturally becomes still. And we'll take a deep inhale into the back body. And then as we exhale, we'll sink back to a child's pose. Let your exhale be long until you find yourself all the way resting down. Slowly start to walk your hands back in towards your legs, rising yourself up to a seat. And then we're gonna find a comfortable seat. So whatever you need to do to get comfortable sitting. You're welcome to sit up on something, or just simply find yourself cross-legged. Let the palms rest face down on the legs. And first, just arrive here in your seat, maybe taking a deep breath in and out to mark the arrival. And soften or close your eyes. And first, let's take a moment to do a little brief scan of our body from the crown of our head down to our toes, listening into anything lingering internally that wants to tell us something. And even if you don't know exactly what it is, or it's kind of an energetic thing, you can just notice it. You don't have to fix it or name it. And then after turning inward, start to feel your body in whatever room you're in. Bringing your attention to the four walls around you and your body situated within those parameters. The edges of your skin touching the air around you. And we'll all start to do a little bit of listening. So we'll start by bringing our awareness to what's directly in front of us. So if your eyes are closed, maybe it helps to visualize the space in front of you. And just start to listen. What can you hear that's directly in front of you? And then start to move your listening attention back behind you. And perhaps visualizing the space behind you, feeling your back body maybe sitting a little bit back to bring that awareness backwards. And notice what there's to hear that is existing behind you. And start to draw your attention towards the left side of where you're sitting. Again, maybe visualizing the left side of your room, the left side of your body. And start to notice what there is to hear, what there is to listen to when you really pay attention. to the left side of you. Start to draw that listening awareness over to your right side. First by noticing your right side, where your skin touches your clothes and where your clothes touch the air. Visualizing the right side of your room. And then start to notice what there is to hear on this whole big, vast right side of you. And then start to bring your attention above you. Noticing the crown of your head, which is probably your highest point right now. Visualizing the space in the room above you. And maybe even extending further upward, considering the trees, the sky, the birds. Notice what sounds exist in the space above your head. And then lastly, we will draw our awareness to what is underneath us. And so we'll start to feel the points of contact that our body has with the ground. And bring some awareness to what might be there underneath. You might not be able to actually visualize or to actually hear anything. But maybe you can imagine the foundation of your house connected to the earth, connected to more earth and more earth and more earth. And all of the sounds that you might be able to connect with even slightly if you really listen. And then let's take a deep breath in to gather up all of that listening awareness and turn it back inward to ourselves. Breathing that in and exhale. You can open your eyes if they're closed and start to make your way onto your back. You can take your time to get there. And once you're on your back, you're just gonna hug your knees in towards your chest. Just really simply hug your knees in towards your chest and make some circles along the lower back. So as if you're drawing a circle right along the lowest part of your back. And then you're painting that circle in the other direction. And then you're slowing that circle down. Remember not to force yourself to suddenly stop, but to gradually come into not moving. And then we'll release the arms and we'll just extend the feet up for a little bit of release. We may have had our knees bent for a while. We may have not had our feet above our heads in a long time. So let's just take a moment to do the opposite of what we usually do with our bodies and give our feet a little bit of a rest. And then we'll start to find a figure 4 shape of the legs. So there's a few options for this, but you can start by bringing your left ankle to your left thigh. I mean, that wouldn't make any sense. Your left ankle to your right thigh. And one option is you can actually plant your right foot and just stay like this, nice, restful figure 4 with the foot on the ground. Or you can keep the foot lifted, finding like about a 90-degree bend in that right leg. And we're keeping a flex in both feet. You can either keep the arms down or clasp the hands behind that right leg. Let's stay here for 3 slow, deep breaths, taking those on your own. If the hands are clasped behind the leg, you can start to release them. And then continue to slide that left leg over. So you're going to start to cross your legs. And then you'll let those crossed legs fall off towards the right. And we're finding a twist open towards the left. So you can also place a pillow or something underneath. Or if this cross-legged twist is uncomfortable, you're welcome to just unravel. Wherever you are, you can turn your head off towards the left side. Soften or close your eyes and relax your jaw. And we'll start to move out of the twist, so bringing the legs back to the center. And if they're crossed, you can unravel them and just let your legs extend towards the ceiling again. And take 3 deep breaths here on your own. And then we'll start to find that figure 4 on the other side. So the right ankle will make contact with the left thigh. And again, several options. You can plant the left foot down or keep it lifted. You can clasp behind the left leg or not. Flexing through both of those feet. 3 deep breaths here. After that 3rd breath, you can start to unclasp the hands if they're clasped, and then slowly start to slide that right leg until your legs are crossed. And then let those legs fall off towards the left and tilt your head towards the right, finding the twist on the opposite side. Slowly start to release your twist, guiding your legs back to the center, unraveling them, extending them up towards the ceiling. One more time for 3 rounds of breath. And then we'll slowly start to release the feet down to the mat. And we're gonna set up for a bridge pose. So you can let your feet be planted on the mat about hips width distance. And bring those heels in close towards your hips if you can. And then if you'd like to come up into bridge, you can start to peel the hips off the mat and rise them up. And if you'd like to, you can also wiggle the shoulders underneath. Clasp the hands. If you feel like you're crunching through the neck, maybe release the shoulders. But you're finding a gentle little bit of a tuck with the chin. And we'll take one more breath in. And breath out, release the arms, gently lower the spine down onto the mat. Widen out the feet and knock the knees into touch. Let's bring our hands to make contact with our body in some way, either on our heart or on our belly. And you're welcome to stay here or find a different version of your final rest. You're welcome to straighten your legs, release the arms, set yourself up with any blankets or pillows that might be supportive, and nothing else to do besides just be here. You can grant yourself full permission to do absolutely nothing. We'll be here in quiet rest for a couple of minutes. Throughout that time, you can continue this act of listening, starting internally without trying to fix or manage, but just listening to ourselves. This quote is from Tara Brach. The bottom line is that when we're listened to, we feel connected. The more we understand, the less we fear. The less we fear, the more we trust. And the more we trust, the more love can flow. Isn't it true that to get to know the beauty and majesty of a tree, you have to be quiet and rest in the shade of that tree? Don't you have to stand under that tree? To understand anyone, you need to stand under them for a little while. What does that mean? It means you have to listen to them and be quiet and take in who they are as if from under, as if from inside out. Start to deepen your breath. Start to bring some movement into your fingers and your toes. And then as you're ready, you may hug your knees in towards your chest and roll yourself off to one side. And then with your eyes closed or your gaze soft, start to push yourself gently, gently up to a seat. And once you're seated, let's allow our palms to make contact with our body, either on our legs or on our hearts or on our bellies, or maybe even our faces. And send yourself some appreciation. And we'll close with 2 deep breaths together. So let's start with an inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. One more inhale through the nose. Side out. And you're welcome to keep your hands where they are or bring them to meet at the center of your chest. Bow your chin in towards your chest. Thank yourself for showing up just as you are. Thanks everyone for being here and joining today.